Han Li found himself thrust into an ethereal mist, where the ground beneath him seemed to vanish, only to reappear just as suddenly. His senses spun, as if he had crossed through some illusory barrier into a new realm. As his blurry vision cleared, he found himself alone in a moss-covered courtyard, abandoned and forgotten by time. His companions, Jin Tong, Lu Yuqing, and Qiu Ling, were nowhere to be found. Despite the confusion, Han Li's mind drifted back to Jin Tong, his loyal companion, whose selfless act of saving him still lingered in his heart. However, he knew the danger it now faced, held captive by Qiu Ling's formidable law powers. Han Li could only hope that Jin Tong would endure, for once he reached the golden immortal stage, he would seek retribution if harm befell it. Han Li's thoughts shifted and he began to examine his surroundings. A courtyard of ruined buildings and collapsed walls that seemed frozen in time. A peculiar sight caught his eye. A roof tile suspended in mid-air, forever trapped in the moment of its destruction. The air around it hummed with a strange power. Intrigued, Han Li used his bright sight spirit eyes to peer deeper, finding the same phenomenon scattered across the courtyard. The air itself seemed to have captured the destruction of this place, the remnants of broken structures held in stasis. Drawing upon his vast spiritual sense, Han Li examined the space, only to find the area far smaller than he expected. Surrounded by spatial walls, the place seemed a miniature world. He attempted to find weak points in the barrier, but none appeared, leading him to activate his mantra, Treasured Axis. The Eye of Truth on the axis scanned the area, revealing nothing unusual, until it turned toward the hovering roof tile. In an instant, the broken roof tile was restored, as if time itself had reversed. Was this the work of time law powers? Han Li's curiosity deepened as he explored further. His investigation revealed a city frozen in time, its streets lined with dilapidated buildings that presented projections of their former selves when viewed through his Eye of Truth. However, the projections were unstable, fading and flickering like distant memories. As night fell, Han Li reached a black pagoda, its exterior scorched and leaning precariously to one side. Here, Taoist Che, his companion, joined him, but after a brief exchange, it became clear that the city held more secrets than either of them could immediately discern. Taoist Che disappeared into the shadows, searching for hidden arrays or mechanisms that might reveal the city's true purpose. In the days that followed, Han Li ventured deeper into the city, guided by Taoist Che. They reached a private garden where strange rocks loomed tall, covered in moss. Taoist Che spoke of an array that stood apart from the others, hinting at an exit, a glimmer of hope in this forsaken place. The journey continued, each step bringing Han Li closer to the truth of this mysterious space, and with it the promise of discovery, or perhaps a deadly trap. Han Li and Taoist Che traversed the dense forest until they reached a curious rock resembling a hunched ape. Taoist Che prompted Han Li to inspect it, and Han Li soon deduced it was a primordial form rock. However, its concealment powers had masked the array, leaving Han Li intrigued. Taoist Che led him further, where they discovered a scorched stone platform with mysterious flower petal engravings, forming an intricate restriction. Taoist Che identified it as a dream concealment restriction, working in tandem with the primordial form rocks. Han Li asked if there was a way to unravel it, but Taoist Che explained that even he, familiar with such restrictions, could not decipher it due to a missing central element, destroyed by unknown forces. Han Li, willing to use brute force, transformed into his giant mountain ape form. Delivering a mighty blow to the platform, the resulting shockwaves triggered golden vines to spread, revealing that the restriction was far stronger than expected. Taoist Shi explained that only someone at the golden immortal stage might hope to break it by force, but such an attempt would collapse the entire area. Determined, Han Li summoned his mantra Treasured Axis, using its Eye of Truth to reveal a complex, hidden design at the center of the restriction. However, the unstable energy caused dizziness, forcing him to stop. Taoist Chi suggested that Han Li's mantra Treasured Axis might see more clearly once fully restored, but Han Li worried about the limited time they had, as the Infernal Frost Immortal Manor could close soon. After some thought, Han Li recognized the safety of the secret area compared to the perils of the outside world. Taoist Shi encouraged him to wait and let his artifact recover, But Han Li remained cautious of the unknown dangers within the secret area. Time passed, and soon a massive plaza appeared at the heart of the ruins. At its center was the Great Universe Star-Gathering Array, a cultivation array that surpassed all others, including Han Li's own creations. If he had used this array earlier, his progress would have been hastened, but he would still need Star Heaven stones to fuel his cultivation. Night descended, and the sky above Han Li was covered in countless stars. Seated in the center of a white stone plaza, he gazed upwards, his eyes reflecting the twinkling starlight. The recovery of the Time Dao runes on his mantra-treasured axis would take a year for each rune, leaving Han Li with little choice but to wait, using the time to cultivate the great universe origin arts. With each passing moment, his focus deepened, and he released a burst of blue light from his hand, sending several streaks of light into the 81 star points around the array. As the Star Heaven stones settled into place, the plaza blazed with radiant starlight. Han Li summoned his 7 bright star rings, which soared into the sky. Assisting in gathering the star power, his hands moved in precise patterns, and the array began to glow, expanding to encompass the entire plaza. The stars, once distant and small, grew larger, their light becoming blinding. The black pupils in Han Li's eyes vanished, replaced by dazzling white starlight. Suddenly, a loud boom echoed, as over 100 pillars of white light converged in the sky, crashing down onto the plaza. The starlight struck Han Li with immense force, causing his body to groan and crack. His profound acupoints lit up, each forming a vortex that sucked in the vast expanse of starlight. The influx of star power was overwhelming, forcing Han Li to endure a bloated sensation in his acupoints, as if overstuffed and still being forced to consume more. As the pressure mounted, the Great Universe Star-Gathering Array trembled, and a spatial vortex appeared beneath him. The starlight, which had once cascaded down from above, was now sucked into the vortex, intensifying the force bearing down on him. Han Li's body bent under the immense pressure, his robes soaked with blood that evaporated almost instantly due to the starlight. Determined, Han Li gritted his teeth and summoned a protective black screen, a veil-like light barrier that formed above his head, providing him with some respite. With the barrier in place, he could finally catch his breath and refocus on absorbing the star power. Days passed as Han Li continued his cultivation, drawing in the star power each night and refining his great universe origin arts by day. Over the years, his efforts slowly brought him closer to his goal, but progress was painstaking. 500 years flew by in an instant, and Han Li's body had undergone a significant transformation. His once black hair had turned into shimmering silver, and the 36th profound acupoint finally formed on his back. With his cultivation of the great universe origin arts complete, Han Li felt an immense surge of power within him. A crack rang out as the protective black screen shattered, and the starlight pillars slowly dimmed, leaving the secret area in darkness. Han Li rose to his feet, his body now encased in his true extreme film. He raised his hand, a burst of light forming in his palm, signifying his newly stabilized power. With a slight smile, he realized that despite his breakthrough, the Golden Immortal stage was still out of reach due to the acupoint decay tribulation. Yet, the path to overcoming it was clear. He took a deep breath, looked up at the moon, and then sprang into the air, landing on the rooftop of a half-collapsed building. Lying back, he closed his eyes to rest, contemplating the road ahead. Han Li reappeared on the White Stone Plaza after 3 days of isolation, fully restored in both his immortal spiritual power and spiritual sense. With a sweep of his sleeve, golden lightning shot out and materialized Taoist Xie before him. Taoist Xie, observing Han Li's growth, congratulated him. Han Li, eager to advance further, prepared for another attempt to reach the Golden Immortal stage. He requested Taoist Xie to remain vigilant during his cultivation. Han Li drew forth several jade vials, releasing the myriad Axis pills, a treasure to aid his cultivation. He consumed 3 in rapid succession and began to chant an incantation, enveloped in a golden light. As time passed, the area around him remained unchanged, a stillness that mirrored his calm focus. Meanwhile, Taoist Xie, standing on a rooftop, noticed a shift in the atmosphere. A pillar of golden light erupted from the center of the city, accompanied by dark clouds and a lightning vortex. Han Li sat at the heart of the golden pillar, his body radiating golden energy as his immortal acupoints began to glow. His chest, in particular, shimmered with the formation of a golden vortex at the 36th acupoint. As the world's origin chi flooded into him, the process intensified, pushing him toward a critical moment. With a roar, Han Li summoned starlight fist projections to counter a massive black pillar of lightning descending from the heavens. Despite Han Li's efforts, the storm only intensified. Taoist Xie intervened, summoning golden lightning to clash with the black pillar, but in the chaos, a lightning cage formed around Taoist Xie, trapping him. Han Li, struck by an arc of black lightning, noticed something sinister, a web-like decay spreading through his acupoint. A wave of panic gripped him as he realized the onset of acupoint decay, a curse feared by even the mightiest cultivators, threatening to undo his years of effort and reduce him to a mere mortal. Han Li, desperate, considered using his time law powers to counteract the decay, but he was struck by the oddity of the situation. The decay was slower, less aggressive than the ancient texts described, his focus sharpened, and uncertainty clouded his mind as he pondered the strange turn of events. In the hidden depths of Han Li's cultivation, a troubling phenomenon unfolded within his immortal acupoint. As the black strands of decay spread, they met with an unexpected force, a glimmering white light that formed a shield, pushing back the encroaching darkness. This radiant defense, he realized, was star power, the same force contained within one of his profound acupoints. Astonishingly, the star power was halting the spread of the decay, buying Han Li precious time. However, he knew this was merely a temporary reprieve. The black strands, though stymied, continued to clash with the star power, each side gaining a slight advantage in the battle. Though the decay could not be entirely halted without a true solution. With his mind resolute, Han Li summoned the mantra Treasured Axis, activating its full potential. The golden light from the Eye of Truth shot down, threading its way into the acupoint, pulling the black strands from their place with painful precision. The strain was unbearable, but he persevered, channeling the power of the axis as the golden light grew brighter, until at last, the decay was eradicated. As the acupoint was cleansed, Han Li felt a surge of vitality. With a resounding boom, all 36 of his immortal acupoints lit up in unison, a brilliant golden beam piercing through the heavens. The sight astonished even Taoist Xie, who observed from afar, questioning how such a feat had been accomplished so swiftly. Han Li, undeterred, continued his cultivation. The storm above him, now replaced by a pool of shimmering golden lightning, marked the next stage of his ascension. He reached for the jade box containing the golden soul pill, a rare elixir he had previously crafted. As the pill melted within him, a surge of golden energy enveloped his body, heightening his senses to an extraordinary degree. His world was transformed. He could hear, see, and feel every minute change in his surroundings. His soul, now more resilient than ever, seemed to resonate with the very essence of the universe. But this was not the end. With a solemn expression, Han Li released his nascent soul, allowing it to rise into the pool of golden lightning. The lightning crackled and churned around it as his nascent soul endured the excruciating trial. His body, though still, was torn by the spiritual agony of the storm that raged within his soul. This was the test of the golden immortal stage, the refinement of the nascent soul by the heavens themselves. The outcome was uncertain. The refinement could take hours or days, but Han Li was prepared. His nascent soul, strengthened by years of cultivation and the golden soul pill, would endure. The heavens would test him, but he would not falter. Taoist Xie, watching in silence, seemed to know that this trial would shape the future of Han Li's immortal journey.